we will begin by talking about what is a 316 fiduciary. We are a service provider hired by an employer to manage the day-to-day administrative work for a 401k plan. So we basically function as a plan administrator and help minimize the daily tasks and administrative burden of the plan sponsor, helping save them time so they can focus more on their business. And we work with the plan sponsor to ensure that the plan is created and managed according to the criteria set forth by ERISA. And while we do all of these wonderful things for the plan sponsor, it is important to remember that the employer sponsoring a plan is always responsible for the oversight of anyone they have hired to act as a plan fiduciary. So it really is a partnership between us and the plan sponsor. I'd like to say that we are your new best friend. So we come in and we help ease that, as I mentioned before, the daily administrative burden of carrying out the daily tasks that are associated with a retirement plan. And we assist with keeping the plan in compliance with ERISA. And although the plan sponsors do maintain some responsibility in keeping the plan compliant, we really are able to help give back to the plan sponsor valuable resources of time and hopefully peace of mind. So who does what? This is a great resource as it shows you exactly which party is responsible for different areas. So let's go over those. As a plan sponsor, you will remain the main contact for participants and service providers. You will need to continue to provide timely information to the third-party administrator and to 316. And you, along with the financial advisor, are responsible for any investment-related requirements. And if 316 is not submitting your contributions on your behalf, you are required to ensure the contributions are being submitted in a timely manner. The third-party administrator is responsible for assisting and consulting with the plan design, creating the plan document and any notices that go along with that, completing the annual administration each year, along with performing the non-discrimination testing and preparing the 5,500 for the plan. And they also assist with participant withdrawals. As 316, we are co-fiduciary along with you on administrative issues. We ensure the plan documents are up to date and will distribute any applicable notices for the plan. We will review the completed annual administration each year, along with reviewing and signing the 5,500 for the plan. We ensure contributions are timely, approve any withdrawal requests, and we also track eligibility for the plan. So your record keeper and financial advisors will assist with the participant education, and they will manage and track employee investments, provide statements to participants, and provide website support to participants as well. They are responsible for any investment fund notices and the administrative forms. So here are a list of the 316 services, and we'll go into more detail on some of these in the next slides. I know I mentioned some of these in the previous slides, but I really wanted to highlight these. The payroll contribution monitoring and submission is something that the 316 services can provide for you and your plan. And it's something that is really, we can really come in and help you with if you have if you do struggle with submitting contributions timely. We do eligibility calculations and also send out participant enrollment materials to the participants and any required notices. We review vesting percentages of participants after the close of the plan year upon completion of compliance testing and annual valuation by the third-party administrator. We also ensure that all required annual non-discrimination testing is completed and documented by the third-party administrator. We deliver all notices to the participants. We review and approve all withdrawals for the plan. We will sign and submit all tax forms for the plan and monitor timeliness of amendments and restatements. So let's go into more detail about some of these services, beginning with contribution monitoring. We will monitor the timeliness of contributions to ensure they meet the regulatory requirements imposed by the DOL, And the timing of the monitoring will just be based on your payroll frequency. But if we notice contributions are not being submitted in a timely manner or not consistently, we will reach out to your TPA as well as the plan sponsor to remind you of the time guidelines set forth by the DOL. This will help keep your plan compliant, as the 5,500 does ask if there have been any late contributions for the plan year. So that does have to be reported on the 5,500. And in addition to that, lost earnings must be applied to participant accounts, as well as a Form 5330 must be filed for any late contributions. So staying on top of the monitoring is key to keep any of that from happening. We can upload the payroll contributions to the record keeper and process those, and this can be done in a number of ways. The plan sponsor can send in a contribution file in order for us to process those contributions at the record keeper. But if a plan sponsor utilizes a payroll provider, 316 can be given reporting access to the payroll provider. And this way we can export the payroll contributions directly from there, so that the plan sponsor doesn't have to send a file in each time, taking up their time every payroll. If a plan sponsor has a payroll feed directly from the payroll provider to the record keeper, we can also review the contributions that were submitted through that payroll feed and then fund those contributions at the record keeper. We ensure the data is accurate and timely, and if there are any issues, we'll work with all parties to resolve them quickly. This can help save you both time and money as the plan sponsor. You're not having to spend time preparing and submitting contributions each payroll, and we are making sure that they are being submitted in a timely manner. Each eligibility, we will calculate eligibility for you. And so each entry date, we will prepare a calculation based on either a census we received from you as the plan sponsor each entry date, or as I mentioned, if we have reporting access to your payroll provider, we can download that census information directly from there. And that way you wouldn't have to send us a census each entry date, again, saving time. But we will take that census and prepare an eligibility calculation. If your record keeper is calculating eligibility, we will review their results with our results and make sure that all is correct. We will communicate our results to you for your review and approval. And once approved, we will distribute enrollment materials and required notices to those participants upon their entry date. And I feel like this is an area many plan sponsors struggle with, and this is where we can come in and really help your plan stay in compliance by ensuring participants are notified of their eligibility in a timely manner. Because when you fail to notify an employee of their 401k eligibility, you are denying a participant the opportunity to defer to the plan. And when that happens, you're going to go down the road of possible corrections, possible penalties, and nobody wants that. So, and this can be even more serious if your plan has an automatic enrollment. So this is where 316 can really come in and partner with you as the plan sponsor to ensure that these things don't happen. We can review all withdrawal requests, that's including termination, distributions, and service distributions, hardships, loans, RMDs, quadros, the whole gamut. 316 really takes the place of the plan sponsor on this. We take the responsibility to determine if the participant is allowed to take the distribution, if the type of distribution is allowed in the plan, if the participant has enough funds to take a loan, and if it's a hardship request, we will review the documentation and make sure that everything meets the requirements. If all is in good order, we can approve the distribution and the plan sponsor doesn't have to get involved. The plan sponsor can authorize 316 to have signing authority at the record keeper. And in that way, we're able to sign off on any paper withdrawal requests or approve any online withdrawal requests at the record keeper. Again, saving the plan sponsor a lot of time, especially if it's a plan with a large number of withdrawal requests. As mentioned earlier, 316 will send out enrollment material and required notices to eligible participants upon their entry date. Annually, we can send out notices on behalf of the plan sponsor. This includes the summary plan description, the SPD, any material modifications, if any changes have been made to the plan document. We will send out the qualified default investment alternative notice, or the QDIA, the participant fee disclosure, the summary annual report, or the SAR, and any safe harbor or automatic deferral notices if they are applicable to the plan. And we will also send out any fund change notices initiated by the record keepers. The notices will be sent to participants who are currently employed, as well as to terminated participants with the remaining balance in the plan. And we will determine who is required to receive each notice. And if we have reporting access to the payroll provider, we're able to just pull those email addresses and mailing addresses directly from that in order to send those out, again, saving you as the plan sponsor time. And we will also review, sign, and file the Form 5500 and associated schedules and attachments prepared by the third-party administrator. And of course, that also includes the Form 8955 SSA as required. And along with that comes the summary annual report, and we will send that out to all participants as well. So that is all I have for you today. If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer those.
Yes, we do have questions, Lucinda. Yes, of course. Now, one thing that I want to mention, and you kind of touched on it before we get to the questions, Kristen and I talked a little bit about the commitment to plan sponsors. And I wanted to note here, you again, you alluded to it. Definiti is in it as a partner on 316, right?
Absolutely.
So
Yes.
when a plan adds 316 to the plan, then they actually, Definiti is, or it's actually the fiduciary studio, right? That's listed as the 316 administrator in ink on the service agreement, right? I mean, we are
Yes.
in it with you. So,
and in the plan document as well, yes.
in the plan document, which is the most important thing. So when Lucinda's talking about all of these things that the 316 services can provide, it's really just an incredibly valuable partner who's in it with you. So I just wanted to stress that. We do, I'm not surprised, have a couple of questions. So let's go through those. First question, gotta ask, how did the naming of 316 come about? I've got an answer if you have one, Lucinda.
Oh, I'll let you take that. I didn't quite hear the whole question. If you want to repeat
Well, the
it.
question is about 316 services in general. How did that come about? And it's related to sectioning, right, of the ERISA
Yes.
code. So there's just like we have 401k, which is actually a section in the ERISA code. 316 is part of that code. It's section 3, subset 16. And then there's also 321 and also 338, which have to do with investments. Do you have anything else to add there?
No, I think you knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, so it is a little unusual in that it's part of the code, but that's part of the regulations there that allow the fiduciary services to studio to take over some of that responsibility and act as a co-fiduciary on the plan. So it's a really vital piece of legislation, regulatory stuff that's in there, and we like to talk about it. So that's how we refer to it. Melissa asks, how are we notified of employee eligibility? You talked about that a little bit. How do they get notified when an employee is eligible?
Well, we will actually email the plan sponsor with the list of people that we are showing as eligible. We'll ask them to review it. And when they review and approve it, then we will send it out to the participants that they agree should be eligible to enter upon that entry date. So it's just communicating, as 316, since we do partner with the plan sponsor and we are really part of the plan sponsor, there's constant communication all the time regarding payrolls, eligibility, distributions, all the things. So we're really in constant contact with our plan sponsors.
Absolutely. Good. Other question from Martha. Oh, she's asking about the additional costs to 316 services. I will take that. We obviously think that 316 services are incredibly valuable because it takes some of the onus off of the plan sponsor. And so some of that time and energy you would spend actually taking care of some of those things we take care of that for you at a more reasonable cost. And costs vary because you'll have participants and eligible participants and so on and so forth. So if that's something you're interested in, reach out to your RPC and they will give you a quote that's directly related to your plan and to your specific needs. So I know that's a little, but you want to be accurate. So get with your RPC to determine how much that's gonna, it's very cost effective based on what we provide. Yes. So Stephanie also had the question about the fees for 316 services. So hopefully that answers those questions. Again, I'd say go to your RPC, let them know that you're interested about what Lucinda talked to you today about, and they'd be more than happy with getting you connected with someone who can help you understand the services that are provided and associated fees and how we take care of some of those responsibilities for you. Anything else you want to add, Lucinda?
No, thank you, Elke. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Lucinda, so much for participating at the Definiti Academy today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.